Hey, you guys, welcome to Splinterlands TV. It is I, the Psy, and I am back. It was a really nice 2-week vacation I took. Haven't played any games at all that last modern season because I knew if I played a single game, it would result in demotion. And yeah, so I just kind of let the bot do its thing. And here I am back with some glint. Looks like I achieved Champion 1 in Wild. And like I said, I didn't play Modern at all because I knew even one game puts me into the slot, and then I would lose my rank. So I'm definitely going to try and burn through some games today, do some nice modern battles, and glint 238. Let's claim. So, oh, I have to do my... I hope that's password. It was, yay! I know my own stuff. Awesome. So, how do you guys feel about that 10x Soulbound unlock now that it's actually happened? Let's get my wild pass here first using vouchers. Buy. There we go. Don't want to accidentally waste any of my energy, so we got to get that wild pass. There we go. So yeah, what are you guys thinking so far? What's your first thoughts on the 10x unlock? I know that I made a video about it previously, and yeah, you know, I was kind of trashing. I was like, oh, the 10x unlock, the $4 packs. And it didn't really make that much sense to me. But here I am now. It's a few days later. And I gotta say, man, I had it wrong. Because even at 10x unlocks, when you think that things might end up possibly being expensive, right? I guess it wouldn't even be Rebellion. It would be Chaos Legion. Rewards is what we want to look at here. And you can already see that the prices are pretty good for like what we're talking about, like legendary. Like if you were worried that your Izzyar was going to end up being expensive and it would end up being like the reason why you can't go and compete is because, oh, the Izzyar, people are going to list them and because of the 10x unlock it'll be too expensive. $479. $479. Like, let's do a little experiment right now though, okay? So we're going to go right now. Here we go. Let's reload this. All right, so we got DEC. Here's DEC's price, okay? All right, so we're going to take that number and we're going to multiply it by 5,000. Okay, so let's do CHLR V star 5,000. Because that's how much the DEC unlock is, right? So even when you do something like that, it's actually only $3.18. Even at 10x right now, with kind of like the sale that we're getting on DEC, it only ends up being $3.18 to unlock any one of these legendaries, right? I don't know if I would ever want to even sell an Izzyar for $479, because like I said, I mean, it's $3.18. So if we were to take, let's call it $3.19, all right? So if we were to take $4, we would take $479. Let's do it right now. So $3.19. So we were to take $479. Why is it not letting me type it in here? Okay. All right, so I've never used this particular calculator before, AC. All right, so we got $4.79 minus 3.319 in DEC equals, and then you also have to subtract, what, 6%? 6% equals. So you're getting $1.50 on your Izzyar. I don't know if I'd want to only take $1.50 on the Izzyar. I'd almost rather just like hold it for forever than take only $1.50 on the Izzyar. Now, maybe if we made it up to like the $6.20 mark here, okay, then that would be something, because then at least you're kind of like doubling your money, right? It's at least doubling what you paid to unlock it, right? But for only $1.50, I just don't feel like I'd ever want to sell one for that price. But yet here we are, right? Another interesting thing that I've kind of seen about this market with the 10x. So let's just look at them one more time here. Let's just take a look before I go off. Like, are any of them over? So we got Izzyar at 620. Oh, did someone just buy him out of everything? No, someone just listed him cheaper. Okay, so at Izzyar, we know he's not 620, he's like 420. Look at this, you got $4 for Kulu, basically, $4 for Musa. Skok is actually one of the more expensive ones up there with Izzyar, which is surprising to me. You got Aves, who I'd say is a Skok equivalent. They should be about priced the same. Usit's not bad, and Drybone is under $5, like with the worst of the worst ones being $4 or $3.40. So this guy's making 21 cents. If you were to buy this for $3.40, the guy's making 21 cents. Now this guy's making what? Like 50, like, let's call it the guy's making 50 cents. Like, I guess the small numbers add up, right? The small numbers add up. But I don't know, guys. I think that it's actually doing better than I thought. Because if you would have made it a 5x multiplier, then I mean, you can expect I've seen these really be $2 and $2.04. You know, and while I don't think that people would necessarily be like, okay, we're gonna go, it's not worth it, or because now instead of making 21 cents, you're making 11 cents or something like that, right? Because the profit's also cut in half, or your margin, I guess, is also cut in half. If the price is cut in half, so now you're like, 11 cents for selling one of these amazing Izzyars, which they did get bought. So those $4 ones were an anomaly. See, they were an anomaly, and now he's back up to 620 in real life. Like right before our eyes, we just saw a purchase made of Izzyar with someone who wanted their $1.19, or was it $1.50? I don't know, but it was still like a low amount that I would not have even gotten rid of those for that price. And I'll bet that person is just gonna hold them and just be like, aha, I'm just holding these to resell later. Because once this initial rush of unlocking, here's one of the positives, right, that I can see. Once its initial rush of unlocking is over, then I feel like it's just going to be fewer and fewer of them that are unlocked, which could in turn make their price go higher because it's going to cost more to unlock them. As time goes by, it's not 10x anymore. Now it's 11x. Now it's 12x, you know. I forget the ratio that they're going to move up. But that could have been the cheapest Izzyar that you ever saw on the market, period, ever existing, ever. Just what we just saw there. And like Aves as well, he's a good little bird. And look, he's 470 is the last one for him before he goes up as well. So I actually think that there's like some buying that can be done here. Like these markets are actually kind of swingy. Look, the 340 one is gone. Someone was like, hey, for 11 cents, I'll just take it. You know? Like, but I'm seeing this happen like right before our very eyes. 410, like the UCIT is still there for 410. 474. I think that I actually needed, look, I need one more. I just wish that I could get rid of this one now, right? Who am I going to have that's going to want to buy this off of me? Like, I'd love to ditch this dry bone, but I think in the end, I just buy a dry bone raider right here, you know, and I just get my last one that I need so I can finish off and get the 3-2 instead of just the 2-2 I'm working with right now with this guy, right? So I think that I'm just stuck buying a dry bone is kind of like what it looks like, is I'm just stuck buying a dry bone. So, I mean, let's see what the bids are looking like for dry bone. Let's see what the bids are looking like, because don't forget, it's $3.19. So this is some of the stuff that I bought recently. I bought my Risco Draft, but I also bought a Baron Fiat. I bought a Max Baron Fiat for 55 bucks. So I got him for $5 per BCX. I did end up buying a Baron Fiat. And there was only one left on the market after that for $5, so I scooped that up too. So I was like, hey, you know what? There's none left on the market. Hopefully someone lists it high. I started at 22, and now it's down to like 14, but that's still higher than 5. So hopefully I played the market well and I can turn this 5er into a 10er, and that would make me happy. That would pay for one of these dry bone raiders at least, right? But yeah, let's take a quick look over here at what the good old dry bonerino has to say for himself. He'd be a reward dry bone right here. High bids are $3 is the high bid on one of these guys. So $3 is below the unlock in DEC. So that's a pretty lofty goal right there. So if I know that it's like $3.19 to unlock, you know what I'm going to do? I'll just pop in and let's see if it's filled right now. I'll just make a bid for this card and I'll bid $4, which is, you can see some of the other ones going for that price. Maybe someone's just gonna be like, hey, I just want this instantly sold for my 80 cents or whatever like that. And they'll just go and they'll sell me a 1x dry bone right over here. Let's see, is anyone looking for a bid on this one? Ooh, 11 BCX at $1 USD. So, wow, this guy's just hoping that he'll be able to get for 1 USD. And this guy 50 cents. Yeah, they're definitely just trying to be like, someone accidentally listed a dry bone raider in foil, and they messed up a decimal point or 2 decimal points and sold it for 10 cents. And that's how this guy's going to get his dry bone raider. I've seen maybe there's a low bid that I'd even sell into, but I might just burn him for glint. Who knows? High bid 0, market trend 210, 250. Here's something else I find interesting. Look, Hulu Mastermind, market value 100. All the others are going for more. Look, high bid Izzyar 97. So the ones that people thought, and look, Drybone Raider 110. So the ones that people thought were gonna like sell instantly and be like the chase cards, maybe they're actually selling at these prices, but look how much lower it is than their buddies. Like, I've got someone who's interested in getting some Skok Dustblight off of me. That's because I've got some GFLs and he's gonna buy them off me. But it's just so weird to see that Skok is worth more than Iziar and Kulu, which are clearly the chases, right? And that's as far as market value. We can go over here and we can confirm that, right? But I know that I saw that even before looking at that screen. I was like, I find this very interesting. My kids had soccer and stuff. I was like, the ones that you would think would end up being the most expensive ones are kind of like the cheapest ones right now, right? And if we were to look at the unlock, let's look at the unlock of one of those guys. So I've got this number right here, star. How much are those? So 125,000 search. So the unlock cost on those guys is 80 bucks. All right, so the unlock cost on a gold foil right now is 80 bucks. And if we were to look right here, this guy's willing to take $17, that means, for his Iziar, minus the 6%. That's right, that's right. So it's 97 minus 6%. I mean, I also did my calculations wrong. So it's costing him 80, then 97 minus 6% equals, so it's costing him 80 minus 80 equals, look, so he's actually making 17 bucks on it. So this guy's making 17 bucks on it, this guy's making 18 bucks on it, this guy's making like 25 bucks on it for gold foil Iziars. But yeah, someone's want to take $17 for GFLs. And you look though, and you see some of the worst ones, like Ava the Untamed, $250. Oh, Kulu went up. Kulu was also $100. Kulu was also a $100 one. So Kulu went up, Iziar did not, which means that this seems to be like it's a buying opportunity to me then. For the 17 and the 18, for the 17 and the $18 that it's really costing you for these guys, like you could definitely turn those into probably a 145 once the big unlocking stops, right? So I mean, I've got one of those. Is it worth it for me to is it worth it for me to unlock them and just hold? Or is it something that you'd rather just like buy one off the market? Like contact the Odysseus and be like, yo, the Odysseus, would you give me this card minus the 6%? So you'd end up saving like another $5 on it. You get it for $91 basically. That'd be $11. Oh, he's actually only making 11 bucks now I think about it. Crazy. Either way, it's just strange to me that the really good one, the best one, Iziar, is the cheapest of them all. And some of the not as good ones are quite a bit more expensive, you know? Good for me because, like I said, I've got some Skoks to sell. I got some Skoks to sell. All right. Ooh, People's Guild. Sitting on the train with no volume, but saw you go live and saying what's up. Hey, buddy. Yep, getting those cards. Dropped like 2.5 glint this morning. Yeah, man. Hey, it's my beautiful wife. There she is. Hi, Amanda. Yeah, I'm just sitting here talking to myself most of the time, People's Guild, you know that. And then I'll record it and put it on like a YouTube or something like that. But yeah, I just find it very I think I was wrong. I'm willing to admit that I was wrong and that the 10X for at least the non-gold foils seems to be a nice spot. And I almost feel like this is the time when there's like, if you wanted to speculate on these things for some reason or another, I almost feel like this is the time that it would be to do it before what ends up happening in the future is that the cost to unlock in DEC goes up and then theoretically the price of the cards go up. This is not financial advice, by the way. I'm just kind of freeballing it off the top of my head because, I mean, I was away for 2 weeks, so the excitement didn't build with me. It was just like, boom, here it is. So I'm just kind of like enjoying this right now. But yeah, I just find it very sad. I think that these two these three maybe even seem to be mispriced, and that 145 should really be the floor on a gold foil Iziar. It is what it is, though, right? I should also say, just while we're talking about this kind of stuff, that I'm in the market for some cool regular cards. I'm in the market for a 3-star or for a 2-star Elemental Phoenix. So I guess for only 28 bucks, I can make my dreams come true. But I gotta sell some. I gotta sell some of those sideboard cards in order to do that. But I'm looking for a 3-star Phoenix, and I'm looking for a 5-star gold dragon. I'm looking for a 5-star gold dragon. So it'd be 65 theoretically. Yeah, I just love the blast. I feel like blast is good, and having those guys with blast seems very good. From the wild perspective, that is, right? Like, these are $4 each. Like, I almost feel like the play right now, getting back to these sideboard cards, is to just unlock them. Like, this is tough. Like, right? Do you just unlock them and sit on them? You just unlock them now for the $3.16, and then just sit on them, hoping that, just like we saw with the Iziars, right? Those nice, juicy $5 Iziars, they're gone now. They're gone, right? Poof. They disappeared right before our eyes. And if maybe the same thing is going to happen, like, look, now we're down to a $6 Iziar, or was that always where it was? But we saw right before our eyes that there's a buying market for it. It happened. Just like the squirrel. So he's back up to 1082. And we saw over here that when I got my squirrels, I saw that they were going pretty low. And look, I got my squirrels for basically $9, $9, $9, $9 on my squirrels. So I do see some market movement, because I know that it was cheaper for me to have gotten this Elemental Phoenix and that Gold Dragon like 2 weeks ago. Before I left on vacation, I was like, oh, maybe I'll come back and I'll take a serious look at just buying those. But now that opportunity is gone. Like, there's still some other ones that seem to... And this guy here, this Scarred Llama, I think that there was a Scarred Llama for sale for, like, it was either $50 or $25 or something just a few days ago. And now look, one BCX is 73. You want the max out, you got to pay $242 to get it for that $25, right? So things are definitely looking good. I mean, I'm feeling pretty bullish right now. From the perspective, oh, one's down to $49.99. It was $50 earlier. Like, look at this, $179 for Yoden Zaku 3-star. Who would have imagined that these days would come? Like, if I just had more money, like, because I believe in Splinterlands. Don't let my last video, when I was like disappointed in the 10x unlock and $4 pack prices and stuff like that, don't let that you think for a moment, oh, that's his what he thinks of the whole game. Because I'm a big proponent of Splinter Game. I love it. But at the same time, I'm also allowed to be disappointed, just like any of you are allowed to be, in the direction that something goes when it's not the way I wanted it to go. So don't mistake me suddenly being, oh, I hate Splinterlands, I'm totally out of the game or something like that, because I had one video that I wouldn't even call it negative. I would just call it like, here's my thoughts on why it should have been less than 10x, you know? Lots of replies to that video. Some of them negative, some of them positive, but for the most part, people didn't seem to like the 10x. But seeing what I'm seeing now, even though I made that whole video on it, I think that it was the right thing to do now. Now I think it was the right thing to do. The gold foils are hard to unlock for really anyone unless you want those kinds of things. But I mean, look, you can have your $5 Sorial of the Bale. You know, you can have your where is he? People were so worried that he was going to be super expensive. Look, you can have your Cthulhu Mastermind for $4, and this guy here made under $1 profit selling it for $4.05. Oh, I guess you can't have it for $4.05 anymore. But yeah, I think that this was a good idea in the end. Look at all the DEC that had to have been burned just to put these guys out there, and the prices are not crazy yet. If no one unlocks anymore, and this is the market, what you're seeing right now is the market, then I mean, we are foolish to be in this moment and not be like, I will buy these sub $5 cards right now, because that's basically $1 more than like the unlock. Like, if you have money, like as close to the unlock as you can get, I guess, is the goal. But I mean, if you believe in the game, like this seems like it's the opportunity, with everyone doing their first initial rush being like, we know that things are going to go up, that the unlock is going to go up, so quick, sell anything that you can right now. But I think that all that's doing is that's putting a lot on the market with people undercutting each other. I think that this might be the moment. If you're like looking to get them, I think that this might be the moment. What's going on, the Fizz? The Fizz, 7 months in a row, buddy. With the subscription with Prime, buddy, I totally appreciate that. One day, the Fizz, I swear to God, I'll figure out how this whole monetization thing works. I'm going to drink a cup of coffee, and I'm going to be like, you know what? It was the Fizz who bought me this coffee, because I took the money, somehow, however it is that you pull it out of this nebulous internet void, and I'll go and I'll buy myself like a nice dark roast or something. Instant coffee, of course. I like instant. No, you know what? Maybe I'll get something that's not instant, and I'll slowly percolate it, and then I'll be like, look, I got real coffee thanks to the Fizz. So thanks, buddy. I appreciate your subscription. 7 months in a row. Dude, thank you so much. Also, I should give props to my buddy Jonas, who hooked me up with this. It was supposed to be a Christmas present, but we didn't see each other for quite a long time. Woo, the silent symbol. Woo! Because this is how I pay my animators for the show. Yeah. So thank you, Jonas, and thank you to Fizz and to all my other subs. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. So I think that's kind of like what I wanted to say about the new Soulbound reward cards. I was wrong. 10x was the right play. Cards are cheap right now. If you believe in the game, I can't believe that I'm looking at a 4-star Ancient Redwood for 32 bucks. And so many of the other Untamed cards are like 30 bucks for max level. I've been like looking at the market. It's just Prince Ren for 22. Like, did you ever think you'd see the day at Prince Ren for 22? Yeah, and it's good that they don't have to just sink so low to such a low floor that it might interfere with people wanting to buy some of these other things, because they're like, why wouldn't I just buy 20 Izzyar right now instead? So I think that it was a good move keeping it. Oh, $9.07 for Krallis. I always wanted a Krallis. I was like, man, if I could get a Krallis 3-star on the cheap, like, I'd want that. And now look, from Boga 4, you could literally get a 3-star Krallis for, like, basically 50 bone. Like, I don't know what to say, man. I don't want to be that guy who's like going in and buy stuff, but I'm just saying, from, again, this is not financial advice. I'm just saying, like, if I was to want to be in Wild, this is another one of those moments before the run up. This reminds me very much, sorry, just a second, guys. This reminds me very much of when I first started playing. When I first started playing, it was during the tail end of Untamed, and things hadn't like taken off huge. It was still just like a very small number of players who were playing, probably less players than there are today. In fact, I'd almost say for sure less players than there are today. But you could see things like Kron going for like $5 a BCX, less than $5, I think, maybe even per BCX at some points. Before the big bull run happened, you know, the leading into Chaos Legion and everything like that. So to see the values of these cards, to be able to pick up a Kron for $8.16, like, I am having flashbacks of what it was like when I first started playing, and I could get these cards, and I could get them cheap, and I was just like, oh, you know what, I'm just putting in 20 bucks here and there, and it felt substantial. You know, putting in 20 bucks, and you're just like, it made a difference to my deck for 20 bucks. And that's something that I think that we haven't had for a while, is just because things were so inflated, right? Like, back in the day, it's like, what was 20 bucks going to get you? Like, 1 BCX of that mushroom guy, Mushroom Seer. I think that 1 BCX of Mushroom Seer was like 20 bucks or something like that. Like, things are crazy. But now if you actually wanted to, you could be like, hey, for 40 bucks, I've got basically, in my opinion at least, one of the best like red cards that exists in the game. And I mean, what was 1 BCX of this guy? It was like 125 bucks earlier for 1 BCX. And now you can just have whatever you want. You know, you can have whatever you want. So I feel like just droning on and on just a little bit more about this. Like, a fantastic card, Ruler of the Seas. All right, look, estimated value $20. Like, what's he going for right now for that? Like, $5. Oh my God. $25 for a 3-star 5 BCX, like, Ruler of the Seas. This card is broken. Like, it gets silence at 3 stars for 5 BCX. Like, I can't believe I'm seeing these things. Like, in some ways it makes me sad, but in other ways it just increases the FOMO in me. And again, not financial advice. I don't have that much money to spend, so all I can really do is look at it. I got like those 4 hungry mouths of children to feed, right? But holy smokes. 25 bucks for what I call serviceable version of Ruler of the Seas. I've told Machine about the game. He hasn't played in a very long time. He hasn't even been botting since the fees came and stuff like that to get Wild Pass. But I told him about some of these prices. He's like, really? He's like, those are attractive prices. Those are the kind of prices that make me want to come back. Because he's like, I sold a lot of my stuff, and now I don't have anything to show for it. And I'm like, yeah, but bud, you could just, like, literally you could buy it way cheaper than what we bought in for and then, like, lost on big time. Like, look at the Spirit of the Forest. Like, who would have imagined... I wanted this card so bad. I paid like 40 bucks at BCX. Who would have imagined that you'd be able to get it today for 106 bucks and 25 cents? That you could buy a BCX for $13.90. Like, again, I don't want to just be like, oh, Splinterlands is so great. But I mean, if I was a new player coming in right now, this is, and I didn't know about the crash, right? Like, most people who come in aren't going to be like, oh, I lost tons of money during Chaos Legion. I made money and then I lost all the money and more because I put in more and then I lost more in Chaos Legion. Like, it just seems to me like this is the way that I felt when I first got into it with Untamed. Like, is like, things are attainable. Like, I could get a Kraken if I wanted to, a max level for 40 bucks, which people spend 40 bucks on a Magic card all the time. You know, that's not unheard of, but like one of the best defenders in the game, 40 bucks. Oh my God. Like I'm seriously like just losing my mind over some of this stuff here right now. Like it makes me want these cards so bad. But I think that the best opportunity is now, but I think the best of the best opportunities was like 2 weeks ago when people were exiting around the time of Wild Pass. I think that they messed up, man. I think they messed up. I think that they're gonna regret it later, just like I don't know. Like I said, not financial advice. I don't want to go too deep into like saying, oh, convincing you guys to buy something. Then you buy it and you're like, damn you, like you misled me. I'm just saying that, dude, I want this so bad. $750. Like the only thing is I need modern cards. That's my problem. Is I need modern cards. Like I have to be able to buy Tofu, right? I need to be able to buy Tofu, which is what's holding me back from just like putting in money right now because I know I need to put in money to get Tofu, to get Brave Tofu. You know, like there's just no option. I need Brave Tofu since I'm a modern player, and these guys are nice to haves. Like that is such a nice to have. It's such a nice to have. All right. Well, what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to end this segment of the show right here. I'll be right back with you guys who are still tuning in. But I hope you enjoyed that. Just like looking back, I'm not afraid to admit that I was wrong, that the 10x unlocks in the end, that it was the right play. You know, I'm not afraid to say that I was wrong. And I'm also not afraid to say, you know what, you're allowed to have your opinion on things. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything other than this is your opinion. So yeah, just try and keep it civil though, right? Try and keep it civil. But yeah, there we go. Until next time, my friends, it is I, the Psy. I shall see you in the next one. Peace!